Why do some companies thrive for decades while others collapse overnight? Success rarely comes down to a better product or a charismatic CEO. Academic observers in the late 20th century began treating success as a rigid, calculable science of external positioning rather than a stroke of luck. The leader of this movement was Michael Porter. He argued that to win, a company must look outward, analyzing the structural realities of their industry to carve out a defensible position against outside forces. Today, a rival school of thought argues the opposite. They suggest that external maps are useless without an internal engine. In this view, competitive advantage requires looking inward, building execution capabilities and internal resources that competitors cannot easily copy. This raises the ultimate question for any leader. Does success come from the industry you choose to fight in, or the weapons you bring to the battle? The outside-in view starts with a harsh reality. Your direct rivals are only one of 5 distinct pressures on your business. This is Porter's 5 forces model. Profitability is constantly squeezed by suppliers, buyers, substitutes, new entrants, and rivalry. To survive, Porter's generic strategies matrix dictates choosing differentiation or cost leadership. Cost leadership isn't just low prices, it relies on engineered internal operational efficiency. Porter insisted that a company must commit entirely to one of these strategies. If you try to offer premium features while also slashing operational costs, you end up stuck in the middle, vulnerable to focused competitors on both sides. Porter's models provide a highly accurate map of external threats, but maps only work if the terrain stays exactly the way it was drawn. In the modern digital era, industry structures are rarely permanent. Supply chains break and market borders dissolve overnight. We now operate in an environment of hyper-competition. Entirely new digital platform ecosystems can expand and swallow old established markets in an instant. A strategic position on Porter's map is useless if the map itself is being redrawn in real time. This brings us to the resource-based view. This theory argues that survival comes from building dynamic internal capabilities rather than simply finding a safe external market position. There is a common observation in management circles. I'd rather have first-rate execution and second-rate strategy anytime than brilliant ideas and mediocre management. Consider Walmart during the onset of COVID-19 in early 2020. Their immediate survival relied on rapid internal execution, starting with operational pivots across thousands of stores to meet health guidelines and keep their physical footprint functional. Simultaneously, they had to manage their massive physical supply chain to meet a sudden, chaotic spike in demand for essential goods. By scaling their digital infrastructure to capture sudden user adoption, the Walmart grocery app saw a 460% growth in average daily downloads between January and April 2020. Walmart survived the pandemic because of an internal organizational structure and culture that enabled a total operational pivot in weeks, rather than just a pre-existing market position. The outside-in and inside-out views function as a single mechanism. Porter's 5 forces and generic strategies act as your radar to understand the terrain and spot threats. The resource-based view and implementation processes act as your engine, providing the structure to navigate it. You cannot survive by only looking out the window at the competition, and you cannot survive by only staring down at your own dashboard. True strategic management is the continuous, dynamic loop of doing both simultaneously.